You've obviously been at the mtnDAO. I've seen Jacob actually grinding away, really opening up and figuring out, okay, how do we compose these things together? I'm curious a little bit of your insight. How has it been diving into these systems, really trying to build out this margining infrastructure? How's it working in the Solana ecosystem so far?
That's a from an engineering standpoint, it's not just on the face of interacting with the system, it's not that much different than how retail users are interacting through the websites on which these are hosted, right? So our challenge is effectively composing that through our margining engine, and at the same time, facilitating observability and risk analysis of these underlying trading protocols, and doing that in a as compute efficient environment as possible, right? So our early challenge is to essentially facilitate all that in the most unopinionated way, where we can scale onwards as much as possible.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear. And it's just been great, like actually being with you guys here, watching build. It's amazing. I mean, we're all in this office from sun up to sundown. So it's just amazing watching everyone work together here. Jojo, you'll be accustomed to it fairly soon here. You'll see it all happening. On the regards of community building and all of that, I'm not sure who wants to touch on this, Durs or Jojo. How was this rebrand? It seemed very well regarded across the space. I mean, it's pretty iconic. So maybe there's not too much to add there, but I think it's just worthwhile bringing up at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably Durs or one of these guys could probably take that, just because that kind of all was happening right before I came and joined the team. But yeah, honestly, it's pretty exciting from my perspective, seeing everything that these guys are doing. I'm pretty active on social media in a bunch of different crypto communities, and everybody's talking about MarginFi right now, and it's a really exciting time. So yeah.
We had kind of a bunch of things lined up well this week. So like Monday we dropped the rebrand, and then Tuesday the website, and then yesterday the big PR push. And I think it kind of solidified. We were very much low key, seed stage, right? We just had the black PFP, and there's no product you can use. And so this week I think things got a lot more real for us and for people watching in the ecosystem. And the branding is definitely a big part of that, and something we put a lot of thought into making sure we had good branding. We didn't actually make it. We hired VectorDAO, so big shout out to them. They did phenomenal work on it, and yeah, like you guys have said, people seem very receptive of it, and we're really happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, it's amazing. And just to jump in here, Durs stopped by yesterday. I was just working on whatever. I was actually reading up on all of you guys' things, getting ready for this, and Durs what's going on? Why do some of these DeFi protocols have 6-figure followers? What are we missing here? And I'm I don't think you guys are missing anything at all. Your community is going great. There's little growth hacks these projects can do, but you guys are literally popping up everywhere across the ecosystem right now. So that's just something I wanted to throw out there, which I think is a result of obviously the branding, how you guys have been dropping things, but just the way you're building. So I just wanted to throw that out there, and it was something funny. I think just keeping this moving forward, obviously you guys dropped a lot of stuff this week. You guys had your $3 million seed round led by Multicoin and Pantera. Solana Ventures and Sino Global was also on there. I'm curious what went behind choosing these strategic investors, what you guys thought it had to offer. I think what's really notable is in the space right now, we figured out it's not really the hardest thing to do to raise capital. What might be a little bit harder is picking the right people, and these are definitely some of the highest regarded VCs in the space.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think capital is flowing, right? For sure, which is really good for the ecosystem overall. But I think, this does mean that it's even more important. I think this is always important, right? When you're thinking about bringing on investors, right? We look at investors like team members on one side of the organization, right? You need to understand the strategic value that they're bringing to the table. You need to understand the partnership there and the complementary composition of your team, right? The same way you'd put together a team of core contributors. I mean, shortly put, we brought on the investors that we did because of those reasons, right? Whether it's Multicoin's long-term vision on composability and the strategic expertise that they bring to the table, Pantera, right, the oldest institutional investor in blockchain, right, deep networks, cross-chain view, right? Because ultimately, while we are super excited about Solana, this is a problem in DeFi, which is really a problem in finance itself, right? And we need to solve it with that comprehensive context. Solana, obviously central to the ecosystem, right? Their venture arm exploding, the resources behind that operation absolutely blowing up. It's been fantastic to see them grow. And Sino, deep technical expertise, right? Fantastic Asia focus. Together they form a really strong foundation, right? As partners for this project. We considered a lot of things when we were fundraising. It is a small cap table, right? From the perspective of like number of investors. But we felt that was the right move, and it was tough. There's a lot of partners that we wanted to be working with, that we're excited to work with in the future, that ultimately we decided not to take on. But these four have been absolutely incredible, and I think set a strong foundation for us to build a lot bigger.